Okay, this is Object 7.6-2 on page 246 in your Technical Drawing 13th edition text. Just a reminder, all rules apply from my previous video on 7.6-1. If you haven't watched that, please do so before you get started on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into this one. I'm going to go to my construction layer. Okay, and make that my current layer, and I'm going to select L and then PER for perpendicular, and I'm going to draw a perpendicular line. Then I'm going to move it to one of the endpoints, doesn't matter which, copy it around to all of the points of interest. And once I've done that, I'm going to draw a line that is perpendicular to those lines. Now, I can't stress enough, they have to be perpendicular. Alright, close is not good enough. So if you're not familiar with how to use polar snaps and object snaps and ortho and things like that, you need to get familiar with it as soon as you can, or your drawings are going to be just a little bit off and you're not going to understand why. Okay, so now that we've drawn the grid on that object, I want to do it on this object as well. I'm going to just copy that line around to all my points of interest, like my intersection points here. Okay, and again, I'm just going to trim these off because I'm just going to be using them for measurement. Alright, so now that I've done that, just to tell you, this line here I've declared as my reference plane, and this line. Okay, so I'm measuring back toward the object just like I did in the previous video. So I'm going to take my offsets, O for offset distance, and this escape and space bar is how I'm able to re-enter the command so fast. Alright, and what I want to work on first, after I put it in the go back into the visible layer, is the 2637 auxiliary plane, again just like we did in the previous video. However, this one's going to look significantly different. But 2 lies on the first line, the furthest line away from the reference plane. Okay, and then it jogs over 1, 2, 3 lines, and it stays on the same line here. 0.6 is, so 1, 2, 3, so that will be 0.6. Alright, and then we want to go down to 0.7. Well, 7 is only one back from the reference plane and is projected down this line, so this is 0.7. And then 0.3 lies down the same line, same projection line, and it's 2 from the front, so it's 1, 2 from the front, and of course that line will go back and join at 0.2. Okay, so that's what that plane looks like. Alright, so now I'll work on the 3, 4, 7, 8 plane, and I will just start off right here at 0.3 that we've already found. 0.4 is on the third line back, 1, 2, 3. 0.8 is on the reference plane, and it lies down the same line of projection as 0.4. And then we want to find 0.7. Okay, 0.7 we've already found out is right here. Okay, so we found 2 planes very quickly. Again, 0.1 lies directly behind 0.2, 0.10 lies directly behind 0.6, and the same thing over here. So we have a rectangle, that's what we're expecting. Okay, so I just want to start off at 0.2, and then I want to find 0.1. Okay, and since it lies directly behind it, it lies down this projection line, and at the intersection point of this projection line you'll find 0.1 because it's projected here. Now we'll go to 0.6. 0.10 is where we want to go next. 0.10 lies on that same projection line, and it lies 1, 2, 3 from the front there. So 1, 2, 3 from the front. Now we want to find 0.6, and we had already found 0.6, and it is right there. Okay, and there's where 0.6 projects up from the front view. Alright, and now we just need to do the side of the object, okay, the fourth plane. Alright, and I just want to start off in the back at point 10, and again we have a point running from 10, or a line running from point 10 to 9. Okay, so it'll do the same thing in our projected auxiliary view, and we can see that point 9 is projected up this line right here. Okay, and then a line runs from point 9 to point 8. Okay, so it will do the same thing in our auxiliary view, and we've already found point 8. It lies on the reference line in the back, reference plane line in the back. Okay, so let me turn those construction lines off really quick so you can see what it looks like. Okay, and that's what that object looks like without the hidden lines. Now we just need to find the hidden lines. Okay, so obviously there will be a hidden line running from point 5 to point 9. Okay, so let's do that one first and see what we have to work with. Now point 5 lies 3 back from the front, point 9 lies all the way on the reference plane. Both lie along this projection line. Okay, so 3 back from the front, 1, 2, 3. Oh, excuse me. That's actually 2 back. The third line back from the front. Okay, so it will be right here, and then right here, and again this is going to be a hidden line. Alright, and then from there you have a line running from point 5 up to point 1. Okay, so it'll do the same thing in the auxiliary view, and again that's a hidden line. I'm just going to use match properties, and then finally from point 5 up to point 4 you're going to have a line as well. Okay, point 4 is going to be right here. Okay, oh, excuse me, right there. Alright, so that's your I'll change that to the hidden line as well. Now I'm going to match or change properties on this. So I'm going to select those, go to properties, and then change my line type scale to 15 because I found out earlier that works good since we're working in metric. Okay, now I'm going to turn off the construction layer. Alright, and that's what that object looks like on the projection. Now if we go over to our 3D model, okay, and I use that tool again where I can get the object to rotate, you can see that that's exactly what our object looks like. And I'm going to show you a completed version with the numbering and everything. So so you won't be confused. Okay, and here's the completed version with the numbers. Alright, and that concludes this video, and this is the 7.6-2 problem from your book.